We're gonna start our practice in child's pose. So once you've got all your props out, you're gonna come to the back of your mat, big toes together, knees wide. Sit your hips back onto your heels, forehead down as you stretch your arms out in front. Just take a couple deep breaths here, settling into our practice, into that first child's pose. And just remember throughout the yoga practice, if you ever need to take a break, you can always come back to your child's pose. Start to connect to your breath here, finding your Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose, slightly constricting the back of your throat so you can hear the sound of your breath. So it's slightly audible. And you're really working on making the inhales, exhales a little longer. You want them to be the same length, right? So if you can inhale for 5, you exhale for 5. And ideally, you use that breath throughout the practice to help set the pace. Walk your hands to the right side of the mat, placing the left hand on top of the right. And then take it the other way, walk it to the left side, right hand on top of the left. Now let's come up to center to a tabletop position, up to your hands and knees. Inhale, drop the belly, arch your back and gaze up, cow pose. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin in and round your back for cat. Inhale as you arch, warming up your spine. Exhale as you round. And one more time. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Good. After your last one, you find a neutral spine. For our thread the needle, take the right arm, lift it up, and thread it through. Put your head down, walk your left hand forward, maybe inch it a little bit over to the right. Come back up, reset in your tabletop position. Switching sides, peeling the left arm up, threading it through, and then walking the right hand forward and maybe a little to the left. Come back to tabletop. And then from our tabletop position, we'll come into a puppy pose. So different than child's pose, your hips stay over your knees. As you start to walk your hands forward, think of melting your chin and chest to the floor. And we're still warming up, loosening up, so it may not reach yet. You can also put your forehead down if that feels better. If your chin reaches, then you're just pushing the chest closer to the ground. Wherever you're at, you're arching your back. You should feel that stretch in the backs of your shoulders and your lats here. Now slide all the way through to your belly. So just push yourself forward and lay down. We're going to do a stretch right now with the arms straight, and later in class when we come back to it, we're going to do it with it bent. Okay, so right now you're going to take your right arm straight out to the side like a T and put it on the floor. So just make sure you have space there, and then put your right ear on the floor, pushing into this left hand, and roll over so that you're stacking the feet, laying on the right side of the body, maybe taking the left foot, putting on the floor behind you like a kickstand. So you should feel a little stretch in the shoulder and chest. It might not be super deep yet, but again, we'll come back to it later in the practice with a different variation. For now, we're just loosening things up. Now let's switch sides, come back to your stomach, and then take it the other way. Left arm straight out to the side like a T, left ear down, push into that right hand and roll over. You can stack the feet, or you can put your right foot on the floor behind you for that kickstand. Good, let's come back to center. Press yourself back up to a tabletop. And then we'll start to move into our first downward facing dog. So plant the hands shoulder width, tuck your toes and lift your hips up. And your feet should be about hips width distance, 6 to 8 inches apart. Bend one leg at a time. Start to open up your calves, your hamstrings, walking out your down dog, pedaling the feet. You can do the same thing with the arms if you want, bending one elbow at a time. Any small movements that feel good here. When you're ready to settle in, work on pushing those shoulders away from the ears, pressing your chest towards your thighs as you work your heels towards the floor. They may not reach yet, right? But over time, they'll get closer. Then look forward, walk your feet up to your hands. Take a few steps, ragdoll. Feet stay hips width, bend your knees a lot, and grab opposite elbows. And let yourself hang here. Maybe shake your head, yes. Shake it, no. Relax your neck. You can sway a little side to side, shifting from the right foot to the left foot. Or you can sway forward and back, shifting the body weight from the balls of the feet to the heels. Release your arms and roll yourself up to stand. When you get all the way to the top, then we'll lift the arms up. Take your right hand and grab your left wrist and pull it to the right for a standing side body stretch. And then switch. Right hand or left hand grabs the right wrist, pull it to the left. Good. Back to center. Interlace your fingers behind your lower back, or maybe hold on to a strap or a towel here. Inhale, look up, open your chest. As you exhale, bend your knees a little and fold forward with the hands interlaced. Release the clasp of your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine to a flat back. As you exhale, step back to high plank position, and we'll modify our first vinyasa together. Drop your knees down for a modified chaturanga. Hug your elbows in and lower to the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra pose, just a small back bend, lifting the chest. Good, lowering back down. Then push up to your knees to that modified plank. Tuck your toes under and meet back in your down dog. Look forward. You can step or hop both feet up to meet your hands, bring your feet together. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Now we use that flat back. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. See if you can bring your palms to touch overhead and gaze up slightly. And then as you exhale, swan dive right back down. Inhale as you lengthen your spine. As you exhale, step to plank, and then you can choose. You can stay on the toes this time, or you can drop to your knees. Chaturanga, hug the elbows in and lower halfway. Flipping over the feet. If you're on your toes, you're in your upward facing dog on the tops of the feet and the hands, or you're on your belly for your cobra. Exhale, down dog. We're gonna do that a couple more times to warm us up. Looking forward, step or hop to the front. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. And then as you exhale, you swan dive back down. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, you can step or hop, any variation of your chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra, finding that back bend. Exhale, down dog. One more time like that. Look forward, hop or step to the front. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. And exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, step or hop. Chaturanga, low push up, elbows hug in. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Whenever you do up dog, make sure those kneecaps and thighs are not touching the ground. Exhale, down dog. And then just take a couple deep breaths, reset in your down dog, right? Each time you come here, hopefully it's feeling a little bit more open. Then look forward, step or hop back to the front, feet together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time we're coming into our chair pose. Bend the knees and lift the arms up. Utkatasana, knees and feet together. Interlace your fingers behind your lower back, but see if you can do it the awkward way with the other thumb on top from what you did earlier in our forward fold. Keep your legs bent. First, look up, open your chest, and then exhale, fold forward. Maybe you straighten the legs this time around, right? Now that we're a little more warmed up. But if that doesn't feel good on your hamstrings, you can keep a soft bend to your knees. Good, release your hands, separate your feet hips width distance. Padagustasana, peace fingers, hook onto your big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as you fold. So now you're trying to fold a little bit deeper. Elbows out to the side, relax your neck. Good, release the toes. Inhale back to your flat back. Exhale, step or hop back. Chaturanga, low push up, halfway down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up, step it forward, crescent lunge. So we start on the ball of the back foot as we lift our arms up. Anjaneyasana, high crescent lunge. Hips are square, arms are straight up, back heel is off the ground. Now as you exhale, we open to warrior two by pivoting the back heel down, arms out like a T. Nice deep bend in that front leg. Flip the right palm up. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach back. Exhale, windmill the hands all the way to the front, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Other side, lifting the left leg up, take a big step forward between your hands. Crescent lunge, you start on the ball of your back foot as you come into that high lunge, lifting the arms up. Back leg is straight, but you're bending into the front leg. Open to warrior two, pivot the back heel down, hips are now open, arms out like a T. Gazing at that left hand, flip the palm up. Inhale as you reverse your warrior, reach back. Exhale, windmill the hands down, chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lift the right leg up, step it forward, but this time we're coming into a warrior one. So a little different than crescent. Pivot your back heel flat on the ground, turn it in about 45 degrees, and then lift your arms up. So usually warrior one is a slightly shorter stance than crescent, just because it's harder to get that back heel down. Interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Inhale, look up, open the chest. Exhale, bow forward, humble warrior. Your right shoulder can be on the thigh or just slightly to the inside of it so that your head can start to get closer to the ground, but that back heel stays glued down. And you can always use a strap, right? Anytime your hands don't reach to interlace, you can always grab that yoga strap or towel. Lift back up to warrior one. Now we're going to take eagle arms here in our warrior one. So your left arm is going to wrap under the right and maybe just hug the shoulder blades. That's the first step. Or you can start to get the backs of the hands together for a single wrap, or maybe palms together for that double wrap. Lift your elbows up slightly and push them forward. Now here's the tricky part. We're going to try to keep the eagle arms, but come into warrior three. So you lean forward, float your left leg up and see if you can find your balance. Flexing the left foot. Very nice. Unwrap the eagle arms, standing splits. Hands come down to the floor, and now maybe you lift that leg a little higher as your nose comes closer to the right leg. Hands can be on the blocks if they don't reach the floor. If you want to grab the ankle, right hand to the back of the right ankle. Now we're going to go straight back to warrior one. So bend your right leg, set that left foot down first, and then lift your arms all the way up. Warrior one position. Nice. Open it up, warrior two. Should be a little bit longer stance from warrior one to warrior two, and the hips are now open again. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, right elbow to the thigh. And we're going to take a half bind. So your left arm goes behind your back. Wrap it on the lower back, the hip. Maybe you can wiggle it all the way through to that hip crease. Just depends on the shoulder. Keep your right elbow on the thigh. And then if it feels okay on the neck, try to look up towards the ceiling or rotate that left shoulder back a little more. Unwrap that half bind, come back up to your warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill the hands to the front, step back. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lifting the left leg up, stepping it forward to your warrior one on the other side. Pivoting that right heel flat, Turning it in about 45 degrees, right? Adjusting the stance so you can do so. Hips are square. You're still bending into that front leg, even though it might not feel quite as deep as when you did crescent. Interlace the hands behind your lower back. Try to put that opposite thumb on top. Inhale, look up, open your chest. Exhale, bow forward. Humble warrior. Left shoulder on the thigh or just slightly to the inside of it. Grounding down through that back foot and then bending deeper into the front leg, working your head a little closer to the ground. Good, lift back up to warrior one. And then we'll set up for eagle arms, this time right arm on bottom. So you can hug the shoulder blades, you can go single wrap or double wrap. Then you start to lean forward and float the right leg up. So warrior three with the legs, eagle arms. Flexing that flying foot here, finding your balance. Good, then as you unwrap the eagle arms, you take it right to a standing split. Hands on the floor or the blocks, or maybe left hand to the left ankle. Fingertips on the floor, bend your standing legs, step back to warrior one, set that back heel down and lift your arms back up. Open it up, warrior two. Line up heel to arch. Nice wide warrior two stance. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle, starting with that left elbow on the thigh. Adding in that half bind, right arm to your lower back, your hip, or maybe wiggling it through, trying to clasp that inner thigh, hip crease area. Rolling the right shoulder back, opening up that right side. Lift back up, undo the bind, come back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Chaturanga, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then bring your knees to the floor for a moment. We'll set up for dolphin pose. So come to tabletop and then measure it out by grabbing onto the outside of your triceps. Keeping the elbows there, extend the forearms so they're parallel. So it's going to be just like a down dog, but with the forearms down. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up. So this is more about building that strength in the shoulders, but you'll find if your shoulders are tight, the elbows try to slide out. We want to try to keep those elbows in. Push the floor away with the forearms. Walk your feet together in the middle. You can stay here and just hold, or you can float your right leg up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. If you have the right leg up, lift the left leg up and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down to a child's pose. This time bring your knees all the way together, forehead down, arms alongside you, and let those shoulders relax. Let them round forward. Rabbit's pose. From here, interlace your fingers at your lower back. Then shift the weight to the top of the head, lift the hips up a little bit, and stretch your arms forward as if you're trying to stretch them over your head. They won't actually go there, but pulling them away from the lower back. Good, release, and we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up, step it forward to crescent lunge, starting on the ball of the back foot as you lift your arms up. Good, open to warrior two. Inhale as you reverse, and then exhale back into side angle. So one more time here. You can repeat the half bind that we did earlier with the left arm behind the back. Or if you want to try to go for the full bind, your right arm goes through the inside of the leg. You try to reach through and find that left hand by your hip. And then you pull that left shoulder back and try to rotate your chest open to face either the side wall or maybe even one day more towards the ceiling. Nice, undo that bind and come back up to your warrior two. Straighten out your front leg. Walk your left foot in just 1 or 2 inches for triangle. Shift the hips back, reach forward, and place your right hand on the shin, ankle, or foot. And then once you get there, let's take the same half bind, not the full bind, but just the half bind. Wrap your left arm behind your back, and then maybe try to grab that hip, inner thigh, and rotate open a little more. Extend the left arm out first as you unwrap that bind, and then use that to pull you up to stand. And adjust your feet, go back to warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill your hands down for lizard. Pop your back heel up and drop the knee down. And then walk your right foot, just toe heel it all the way to the edge of your mat. So you can bring your hands, elbows, or maybe blocks on the inside of that right foot and get a nice stretch into that right hip. Now coming up to your hands, stepping back to chaturanga from here, or you can skip it or modify it, low push-up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. Lift your left leg up, step it forward, coming into our crescent lunge on this side. Last time in our crescent. And we open to warrior 2. Inhale as you reverse your warrior. Exhale to your side angle. And again, maybe you stick with the half bind with the right arm coming behind your back. If you get it close to the hip, then it's probably a good sign you might be ready for that full bind. Reaching the left arm through and seeing if you can find your right hand and then pull it underneath you a little bit and pull that right shoulder back. Now, whichever bind you have, undo the bind and come back up to warrior 2. Straighten out your front leg for triangle. Walk your back foot in just 1 or 2 inches. Shift the hips back, reach forward, and then place the hand on the shin, ankle, or foot. And then once you get into your triangle, add the half bind. Wrap the right arm behind your back, maybe lower back or hip crease, and pull that right shoulder open. Extend the right arm back up to the ceiling and lift all the way back up. Good, come back to warrior 2. Adjust your feet, rebend that front leg. Inhale as you reverse. Exhale, windmill the hands down, lizard pose. Drop your back knee down, walk your left foot all the way to the edge of the mat, and then bring your hands, elbows, or blocks down on the inside of that left foot, stretching into the hips. And come back up to your hands. Again, optional if you want to skip the vinyasa, you always can. Go back to your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And then exhale, we'll all meet in down dog. Step to the front of your mat and just roll yourself up 1 vertebra at a time. Good. Once you get to stand, we'll step to face one of the long edges of your mat. Open up your feet wide, a few feet apart. And just like we've done a lot today, interlacing the hands again, so grabbing the strap if you need it. Look up, open your chest, and then keep the hands interlaced as you fold forward. So straddle forward, fold with that chest opening. Release the hands, walk them through the legs now and fold deeper into that hamstring stretch for the backs of the legs. Walk both hands over to the left leg. Try to hold on to the ankle or calf and pull your nose towards the left leg. Good, walk it to the right leg. Pull your nose over to the right leg. And then back to center. Let's find a flat back. Put a soft bend to your knees, hands to hips, slowly come up. And then we'll step to the front. Now we did eagle arms earlier. We'll do the whole eagle now for balancing. So bend your legs just a little bit like you're doing chair, and then cross your right leg over your left and your right arm under your left. You can hug the shoulder blades, backs of the hands, or get that double wrap. Same goes for the legs. You could put your toe on the floor, you could do a single wrap, or you can try to get your foot behind your calf for that double wrap. Push your elbows and forearms away from you so you feel like your shoulder blades are pulling apart. If your balance is feeling good and you want to test it out a little bit, slowly crunch forward and see if you can bring your elbows just to lightly tap your knees. Good, then you slowly come back up and release. Shake it out and try the other side. Bend your legs, cross the left leg over the right, single or double wrap, and then left arm under the right, hugging the shoulder blades, backs of the hands, or maybe palms together. First, just getting your balance here and maybe staying upright, or if you want to add that variation, you can slowly come forward. Again, not really resting when you get to the bottom, just bringing those elbows to lightly tap the knees. And then if you do that, you slowly reverse it when you're ready to come up. And then we really shake it out. All right, we're gonna try bird of paradise, but keep in mind that you don't have to come all the way up, right? We can modify, take it one step at a time. First, open up your feet to the edges of the mat. It helps if they're a little wider apart. And then bend your legs a lot, like you're doing a squat. If you want to use your strap, you're going to take your strap and throw it behind your back with the left hand. Your right arm's going to go through the middle. If you don't have the strap, you might be able to get your hands to touch. The more you bend your legs, the easier it actually is to get the bind. Okay, so with or without the strap, try to get your bind, and then stay here and see if you can straighten your legs and look over your left shoulder. This is a great stretch for the shoulders as well as the hamstring. Don't worry if the leg doesn't actually straighten. If you're using the strap or the towel, stay here. If you have the full bind with the hands together and you would like to try bird of paradise, then rebend your knees a little bit, wiggle your feet closer together so you can lean into your left foot, because you're going to slowly try to stand up. Take your time and really focus the eyes. Much harder to balance when your arms are stuck here in a bind. Your flying leg, your right leg could be bent, or if your hamstring feels open enough, we didn't really do a lot of hip opening, but you might straighten that flying leg. And you can see my left leg is a little bent, right? Sometimes the standing leg doesn't come all the way straight. That's okay. Over time, we're working on straightening the legs, opening up the chest and the shoulders as well. And then after you've held it for a couple of breaths, you try to keep the bind until you set the foot all the way down. And then just kind of shake it out, release into that wide-legged forward fold. And then we'll try the other side. First, just going for the bind. So bend your legs, other side. Left arm goes through and around the hip, right arm behind your back. Maybe with a strap, and then first just holding here, working on straightening the legs a little bit and looking up over your right shoulder to the ceiling. Again, this is a great stretch to stay here if you want. If you have the full bind and you want to play with the bird of paradise, wiggle your feet closer together, lean into that right foot, take your time as you come up. One side might be different, right? For me, the balance is still a little harder on this side because of that broken toe, right? It kind of threw off my balance. But it might also be the flexibility of the shoulders or the hips. So just move one step at a time, maybe come up, maybe keep the leg bent, maybe straighten it, right? See how it feels. After you feel like you've evened out the sides, we'll meet in a ragdoll. So you can bend your knees a lot, grab opposite elbows, let those shoulders relax. Just let yourself hang and reset in that ragdoll position. Good, let's meet in a child's pose. Bring your knees out wide and reset here in a child's pose.
Now we're going to come back to our stomach and do a different variation of that stretch we did earlier. So in the warm-up, we did arms straight out like a T. Now, we've done a lot to open up the chest and shoulders, so we're going to try it with a cactus arm now, with your elbow 90 degrees. Everything else is exactly the same. So you put your right elbow down. Make sure if you glance at it, that your elbow is directly in line with your shoulder, creating that 90-degree angle. Otherwise, you won't really feel it. Right ear down, push into that left hand and roll over so that you're either stacking the feet or placing that left foot on the floor behind you. And it should feel deeper with the arm bent than it did with the arm straight earlier. And try to keep your head on the ground so you can relax your neck. Good, let's come back to center, switch sides. Left arm, either you're gonna bend it again 90 degrees, glance at it, make sure you got that nice angle there, then left ear down, pushing into that right hand, rolling over, stacking the feet, or putting that right foot on the floor behind you. Good, back to center. On our stomach, forehead down or chin down. Take your arms by your side like airplane arms, palms facing down. We'll do a couple back bends. So from here, lifting up the chest, the legs, the arms, locust pose, shalabhasana with airplane arms. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, let one ear come to the mat, relax, reset there. Now you can repeat airplane arms or interlace your fingers behind your lower back, just like we've done throughout the practice. Lift up your chest and your legs, but then if you have those hands interlaced, try to lift them at least a little bit away from your tailbone and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, bring your other ear to the mat. And now one more back bend. You can repeat either of those two, or if you feel ready for a bow pose today, bend your legs and reach around, go for the outside of the ankles. Knees and feet can be about hips width or just slightly wider. Kick back through the shins. Flex your feet to lift the chest. If that doesn't feel good, you could do half bow, one leg at a time, or you can repeat the locust variations that we did before. And just breathe. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you release, one ear down, gently windshield wiper your shins side to side. Good. Press back to a child's pose again and reset your spine. Swing the legs around so you can have a seat. Both legs out straight for a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Sit up tall, flex the feet, and fold over your legs, grabbing anywhere you can reach, the legs, the feet, or maybe using that yoga strap around your feet if you had it. Drop your head, relax your neck. Keep the feet flexed though as you fold. And slowly come up. Now today we're going to do a different variation of Gomukhasana, cow face pose. We're only going to do the arms because we've been focused on opening up the shoulders, but we're doing a laying down version. So if normally when you do this arms, you can get your hands to touch and you can like really grab, don't do it. Don't grab, because when you lay on it, your fingers will dig into your back and it won't feel good, okay? You might be able to overlap the hands, but just keep them flat, don't hook them. For some of you, it might be further apart though. So to start, lay down on the right side of your body here. Just prop your head up with your right hand. Take your left arm, flip the palm out and walk it either low back, mid back, or upper back with the palm facing out.
Then your right hand is either gonna go behind your head, neck, or upper back, right? It might kind of graze the other fingers if the shoulders are feeling open. And then you roll over and literally lay on top of your arms. So your right arm is now a pillow for your head. And your legs are just like Shavasana. And you should feel, because we're just putting our whole body weight into it, it's a much deeper stretch. For a lot of us, that left arm is where you're gonna feel it more. If you don't feel it, roll back over to your side, try to inch your hands closer together. And then the same goes if it's too much, if it's too intense of a stretch, roll to your side to loosen up the hands, right? To walk them further apart, and then roll back down onto your back here. The nice thing about this is you don't have to tense up the shoulders to grip the strap or to grip your fingers. You can just let your body weight and let gravity help you get deeper into the stretch. So try to close your eyes and let everything relax here for a few moments, and just notice where you feel that shoulder opening. Take a few more deep breaths on this first side. Now we're going to exit the same way we came in by rolling to your right side, prop your head up with your right hand, and then just kind of shake your left arm out a little bit, maybe draw a few circles, move it around. You're going to feel like a lot of sensation and tingling sometimes because the blood flow is coming back into that area. When you're ready, we'll switch by rolling to the other side. So laying on the left side of your body, propping your head up with your left hand, take your right hand, flip the palm back, and put the back of your hand either on the lower back, mid back, or upper back with your palm facing out. And it might not be in the exact same position as the first side. Then left hand behind your head, neck, or upper back, and then you roll over and lay on top of your arms. And your head is on top of that left arm, and then your body is laying on top of that right arm. And again, it might feel different. For me, this side's always a little tighter on that right shoulder, right? That internal rotation. If you need to adjust either tighter or looser, just make sure you roll to your side first to adjust the hands and then lay back on top of them. And then once you get settled, just closing the eyes and trying to relax here into that stretch. Take a few more deep breaths on this side. Now to come out, we reverse it. We roll over to our left side, prop your head up on your left hand, then gently undo that right arm, shake it out a little bit. And then we'll lay back down onto our backs. And take your arms now, when you're laying down, out like a cactus, right? Palms facing up, elbows 90 degrees, both arms like this. So once you're laying down, put your hands like that, and you'll feel just a very gentle opening in the chest, the shoulders. Knees bent, we're gonna take a cross-legged spinal twist. So we take our right knee, cross it over the left, keep your arms in cactus arms. Move your hips an inch or two to the right, and then drop the knees to the left. Now, if you don't like doing that cross-legged version or it's too much on the hips, uncross the knees, but still drop both knees to the left. And you can just keep your head neutral today and close the eyes. Keep the upper body, just switch the legs. Bring your legs to center, cross the left leg over the right, move your hips an inch or two to the left, and twist the knees to the right. Coming into our last pose before our Shavasana. Let's uncross the legs, bring it to center. Hug your knees into your chest. You can wrap those arms all the way around the shins. Give yourself a big hug, and then let everything go as you come into Shavasana, your final relaxation. Extending the legs out long, letting the feet fall open. Arms relax alongside you, palms facing up. Shrugging those shoulders away from the ears, keeping the neck long. And close your eyes, clear away your thoughts. Notice if your shoulders and your chest feel a little more open here. So we did a lot to open up that area throughout the practice. Just take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale all the air out the mouth. And as you let that go, let your muscles relax deeper into the floor. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring some small movements back to your body. Maybe draw a couple circles with your wrists and ankles, moving them in both directions. Or maybe gently move your head side to side. Any small movements that feel good to you. And when you feel ready, reach your arms overhead. Reach the legs long. Create a nice full body stretch, getting as tall as you can. Hug both knees in, keep the eyes closed, roll over to one side, coming into a fetal position. And then use the hands to help guide you all the way up into a comfortable seated position, crossing the legs, sitting up tall. Hands come together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And take a couple last deep breaths here, noticing how your body feels after your yoga practice today. Let's take one more nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale all the air out the mouth, letting it go. And lifting your hands to your forehead, your third eye center, and bowing forward. Namaste.